Rabia was saying, just to give an example, that in India, for instance, a lot of religious traditions have coexisted, for centuries. And even when we had almost actually more than 400 years of Mughal rule, which is sometimes referred to as the Muslim rule, the majority stayed non-Muslim, and people stayed side by side, and things worked out. It's only when I think the power structure is deliberately trying to create division that communalism comes in. In India we call it communalism, but it's basically sectarianism. And that it's the same that we saw in South Africa, and I live in South Africa, is that division, that apartheid, that you are separate and I'm separate, and then immediately the class division comes. So, if you're black, you are most probably going to be poor. Or, if you're Muslim in Gujarat, in India, you're most probably going to be poor. So that division is very deliberate. And I think that's what I was referring to earlier, is that class, that, the financial stuff, the injustices in society are very much linked to minority, persecution and, those sort of things. So I think they are all linked. And to attack the deliberate division is very important, because like you are doing, you're all living together, doesn't mean that you become one. It's like that, you are yourself and you're still coexisting, and that's the beauty of it. And I think almost all countries, all cultures were able to do it. It's natural, we all want to live, right? We don't want to kill each other, So I think that's what I was referring to when I said, that we need to pay attention to the powers that will actually disrupt it, or we deliberately like to disrupt that. Right. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss you? About.
I might say something.
Okay, I wanted to say something about the question of timeliness, and also it connects to your point about needing to be willing to call out the ways that our traditions can become complicit. Just going to go on a little byway to get to it. Some of you may have seen this flyer that we passed, some of my comrades and I passed out in the march yesterday. It's a call to denounce the massive level of visa denials that the Canadian government, the numbers that are coming out now is that 70% of the visas that were requested to attend this conference were denied, and that I don't know, I don't want to speak too soon, or I don't want to pretend that I know the inner workings of the WSF, but there's, people are asking, did the WSF do everything that it could have to push on the Canadian government? And then we're also asking, what the heck from the Canadian government? What the heck? What are you doing denying people to come to a conference like this? And so, we have to push on ourselves constantly not to become complicit, with, inertia. You know what I mean? And here, this is the first World Social Forum. The World Social Forum is also a living tradition. And this is the first one that's happened in the Global North. And it's going to take some pushing to make sure that, that we don't get all comfy. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't feel comfortable at this conference because there are a lot of comrades that are not here, So, just you can't walk away from, the planet, we can't walk away from the communities we commit to, and we can't walk away from these folks, you know what I mean? What we put on this flyer is, if one of us is denied, then we are all denied. And so I'm going to pass this around. If you didn't get one, there's a little QWERTY thing that if you have an intelligent phone, it can go right to the petition.
If you're smart enough to use it.
And if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can just go to mayfirst.org/visa. And this is we're just trying to get as many signatures as we possibly can. Before Friday, when we intend to have a little demonstration in front of one of the government offices nearby. And so, and that's just a question of related to the point about timeliness. Sometimes it takes pushing ourselves to act when it's necessary, and it can feel difficult, right? It can put you like out of your comfort zone and you're not totally sure, like, do I wanna, like, do I trust everybody in the room? Like, are they, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to do this stuff, but we've gotta get past that stuff and shake that off and like, you know, and stand up, speak out. Thanks.